talk about depression. We are not going to talk about sign language, okay? Yeah. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. Called Nam Ivtian. It's not going to be based on my knowledge or my understanding alone. We are going to share whatever you think that you know, whatever experience that you have about depression. I will allow you to put it in the comment sections, and probably I will add it in the next session as we get back to it next time. So, depression has a wide view, but I've picked just one definition from a doctor called Dr. Deborah Fulcrum Bruce, who is a psychologist and a psychiatrist. According to her, she defines depression as a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. In addition to that, she says it affects how you feel, think, behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical effects or physical problems. Whereas me, as Dr. Eve, anyway, jokes aside, as me, I decided to define depression as a combination of stress. Just that, a combination of stress. When you're stressed with one thing, before you get out of that thing, another stress adds on that and keeps on piling, and before you know it, you cannot get out of it. You cannot recover from the stress. So because you can't recover from the stress, you find yourself being depressed. So that's my own definition. You can agree with it or disagree, and you will tell me your own or when you disagree. Yeah. So when we go straight to types of depression, there are varieties of types of depression. One of it is called typical depression. Typical depression doesn't seem to appear like someone is stressed. Like it doesn't follow the pattern. You seem to think that this person is fine, but in reality the person is stressed. The person is depressed. And then we have persistent depression. This is a continuous depression or continuous. And this type is mostly experienced by children. Those children who grew up without love in the family, they were neglected or rejected, something of that sort. So they grow up with that depression. And even when they grow up, they don't seem to socialize. They don't seem to be happy. They're always sad. Stuff like that. Then we have postpartum depression. I think all the ladies know this postpartum depression. Postpartum depression is the kind of depression that most ladies, almost women, actually go through, which occurs after childbirth. So after childbirth, you get that because of a lot of adjustments that your body has to adjust to, your mind has to adjust to, a lot of things that you have to do, taking care of the baby, taking care of your own self, looking after your home and your husband and probably your children or the people in your home. That overwhelming situation leads to depression, which is postpartum. That's why sometimes you see a baby is crying and also the mother starts crying. It's not like the mother is crying because the baby is crying. She's just overwhelmed. She's depressed of the situation. She's not certain of what to do. I guess this is why in the past generation, our old mothers, our grandmothers, whenever someone would give birth, you'd find the mother-in-law coming around, even the mother of the lady coming around to assist. I think it's all that process is to help the person, the new mother, to cope up with that situation so that she's not she doesn't get depressed. Then another type of depression is premenstrual depression. Again, ladies, we are here together. You get it? that thing of ours. Yeah, premenstrual depression always disturbs us, but we get through with it with time. Yeah, when you get used to the situation. But especially for those that were those young girls that are just starting their periods, you find that they get depressed. Actually, even older ladies, we get depressed. Yeah, you find mood swings, cramps, nausea, all those things that comes before the periods really comes in, and you find in one way or the other you get depressed for one reason or the other. Some people might not even want to go through their periods. If it was not for health issues, I think some people would say, I think I can do away with this. So another form of depression is called bipolar. The counselors, the psychologists, you know this one very well. The bipolar, I know most of you always deal with this case, the bipolar or manic depression. This is mostly genetic, or like it's inherited. You find it in the family lineage, kind of like that. And most times, if not taken care of very well, it can lead to mental disorder, like total mental disorder. You get someone really running mad. Yeah. So those are the types of depression I know, or the ones I've been able to find. So if you have any other type, please you're free. You can put it in the comment sections. We'll be very grateful. So today again, we are going to go straight to the causes of depression. Now, one thing I want us to know is there are some causes that are theoretical and others which are practical. Now, I will talk about especially the practical ones in Africa or in our locality. Yes, the practical ones. Some, I think, don't apply to black people like us. Some apply to whites, especially. Yeah. So I've got with me here only 6 causes, which I think are practical. But if you think you have more, we are not limiting. Add it in the comment, please. So add it there. Oh, we are discussing. It's not like I know everything. Yep. So this is it. The causes of depression. There is no. We cannot rule out that maybe the real cause of depression is either bacteria or a virus, something of that. No. But we have like predisposing factors that leads one to depression. So that is, and they are the followings. We have medical illness or chronic sicknesses, if I may say. For example, HIV, cancer. I think corona has to be added on this. Corona, although it's not a chronic disease, it can be cured, but decided to add it there. Yeah, you find that when someone gets a chronic sickness or has a medical situation that requires a lot of money for treatment, for example, let's say cancer, every time you have to go through chemotherapy, you have to buy medication, you have to eat according to the doctor's advice. That situation can be so alarming sometimes. And even the medication alone, each time you have to take the medicine, you find yourself losing yourself, losing your thoughts, losing your happiness. In one way or the other, you become so detached from people. You begin even to think that, I think I'm going to die. You begin to count yourself useless or worthless to the community, and because of this, you find yourself being depressed. Yeah, depressed. So you find yourself being depressed, and very depressed for that matter. Then we also have loss of a loved one. Yes, so most of you who have experienced this one, you can bear with me. Loss of a loved one. For example, a mother, a father, your child, your husband, your wife, your beloved sister, your beloved brother, name them. Now, you find that in this situation, when you lose someone, let's say for example, you lose your parents and you were firstborn. You've never been having responsibilities. You don't know how your parents used to make money and take care of the home, and then boom, they die. You remain there. You have to take care of your siblings. You have the pain of losing your mother, but you want to appear strong to your siblings. You want to give them hope. You want to give them, provide for them, but in one way or the other, you can't provide everything they need. On top of that, they may not even appreciate. They may say, hey, you're doing this, you're working, but you're not giving me enough money, you're not taking me to good school, you're not blah, 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 you're not providing us enough scholastic material. But the real truth is they don't know the struggle you're going through. Yeah, they don't know the way you're trying to make ends meet. And then sometimes we conceal the pain. You try to conceal the pain. You don't want to outburst to them. You don't want to quarrel to them. You don't want to make it seem like you cannot make it, you cannot provide it, you're not able. And then because of that, trying to conceal the pain, trying to conceal the hunger, trying to conceal everything. You lose yourself, you get depressed, you get detached, you get lonely and all that stuff. And by the end of the day, after some time, you're totally depressed. How many are those? 3. Then we have age. Age. Yeah, age. How does age leads to depression? You see, most times when we are growing in our families, children tend to get their families and they move to stay with their beloved husbands or wives. They form their own families, and then you get that our parents and our grandparents are being left behind. Probably they are left alone. Let's say, for example, a person is a widow or a widower, and then the children have all left, and he or she starts to stay alone. And now, because he or she is staying alone, he starts feeling lonely, starts feeling whenever he or she has a problem or has something disturbing him or her, he doesn't get anyone to share with. So because of that, the person starts getting depressed. So that's another cause of depression. However, also in addition to age, some people don't want to age. So when we start seeing ourselves getting wrinkles, you understand, losing that body shape you had when you were a girl, let me say, then you start feeling uncomfortable, you start losing your self-esteem, and then before you know it, you start even detaching yourself from people, especially when they start branding you some funny names, and you get depressed. Yeah, as a person, you get depressed. So those are 5. And then another cause is genetical, as we've said. You find that you really can't tell the reason as to why you're depressed, simply because probably it's in your family lineage. Your father or your mother or your grandfather or your grandmother was once depressed, was that kind of person who could isolate himself, could not socialize with people, would be paranoid for no reason, and somehow, somewhere, you get to inherit some of those traits, and you find yourself always depressed. Another reason for depression is conflict. Yeah, conflict, especially in families, personal conflict, name them. They can lead to depression if not well handled. Yeah, then another reason is abuse. Oh, I was going to forget abuse. Yes, an abuse, like sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, name them. They can lead to terrible depression. Let's give an example of sexual depression. For example, you're a girl or you're a lady, and then you get gang raped, in the process of rape. Because you're not prepared for sex, the person or the people are forcing themselves to have their way in you. You find that you sustain injuries, and also sometimes in the process of them raping you, they are either beating you, strangling you, trying to threaten you. And when they're trying to threaten you, you find that you can't recover from that so fast, especially when you're not counseled very well. In fact, you will never recover from it, and the memory of those things will keep on repeating itself. It even becomes worse when you get into a relationship, and your partner wants to make things good, wants to show you how much he or she feels or loves you, how they're attached to you. For you, the partner is showing you love, but for you, in your head, you're just memorizing the rape, and you're thinking, this man or the other one must be like the other guys. So, for that reason, you get depressed. Also, another example under sexual abuse is sodomization. You get that maybe someone gets to you're not really, this person is a lesbian or a homosexual, but someone comes to you, forces himself onto you, and sodomizes you. I bet, my friend, you will never be the same. You will remain depressed if this situation is not handled. It can escalate, and you'll probably lose yourself. So, my people, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the opinions that you will give. That's my own version of depression. I think I'll make a clip on this in my local language, our dialect, Kilangi. Yeah, I'm still waiting for someone called Emma D. Cox to translate for me depression in Langi. Bye-bye. Thank you. See you next time.